volume of a cylinder. Our main formula for volume is equal to big B times H. And you have to remember that big B is talking about the area of the base shape that we use to make the three-dimensional figure. Okay? So if I look at a cylinder, we know that a cylinder is composed of two circles and then our lateral part of it is a rectangle. So your net that you've learned in years past, you have two circles and a rectangle. To make up the cylinder. The big thing you have to remember about a cylinder is the base shape is a what? A circle. So we just had a test on finding area. How do we find the area of a circle? Pi times radius squared. We have to remember that the radius is from the center to the outer edge, and the diameter is all the way through the center from one edge to the other. If they give you the diameter, what do you have to do to find the radius? You must divide by 2. And then we have our height. So in order to find the volume of a cylinder, we're going to do big B times H. But since our base shape is a circle, I'm going to replace the base area with the area formula of a circle. So I'm going to replace big B with pi times radius squared, and then we multiply it times the height. And this is your formula for the volume of a cylinder. So now let's look at a couple of equations. If we look at example 1, I'm going to tell you that the radius is going to be 8 feet and the height is going to be 12 feet. So when you work your problems, this is one thing they're going to ask you to do. They're not going to want you to put it in a numerical form. Sometimes they're going to ask you to leave it in exact terms of pi. And this is going, just like we did with the circle, with leaving it in exact terms of pi, we're going to do the same thing with the cylinder. So you're going to do V equals pi times radius squared times height. So I'm going to do pi times 8 squared times my height, which is 12. Now we do order of operations. 8 squared is 64 times 12 times pi. Now we take your calculator and you multiply 64 times 12, and what does that give us? 768 pi feet cubed. This is what you refer to as your exact answer. This is your exact volume in terms of pi. If they want you to find the numerical value and they say use 3.14 for pi, you're going to take it one step further. 768 times 3.14. So when we do that, we get 2,411.52 is our volume feet cubed. But be cautious. When you get to this point, they may say round to the nearest tenth. Or they may say round to the nearest hundredth. So be careful. If they say round tenth, that means you're going to drop the 2 because it's not going to make the 5 change, is it? So you got to know how to round that number. So now let's look at one more. And on this one, I'll give you the diameter. So on this one, I'll say that the height is 10 yards, and I will tell you that the diameter is 6 yards. So in order to work the volume, you have to know that we don't need diameter. What do we need? We need radius, which is 3. So I'm going to do volume equals pi times radius squared times height. So pi times 3 squared times 10. Pi times 9 times 10. What would it be in exact terms of pi? 90 pi yards cubed. Then if we took it out, volume equals 90 times 3.14. $282.6 yards cubed.